Hey there, Nerdlings. Thank you so much for joining me again. I'm super excited to share this very first neighborhood showcase with you for my Sims 4 save file project. Today, I'm going to show you Foundry Cove in Willow Creek. So, Foundry Cove is the bottom right neighborhood of that very first world in The Sims 4 called Willow Creek. And we're going to get started on this showcase with a tour of this simple ranch home. This is the very first home I built and recorded for my Sims 4 save file project. I think this home turned out lovely, and given my rather medium level of ability, I am super proud of how put together it all looks. This cute little ranch home is based off of most of the homes in the neighborhood that I grew up in small town New England. It's got plenty of space for a starter home, and I just love the little deck and the driveway together. I worked hard on this home, and I think it set a wonderful tone for the rest of the neighborhood. You'll see my little sim self running around the neighborhood and in and out of the homes as we work our way through this showcase. Do you have a sim self that you like to use in-game? Or do you like to make your sims look nothing like you at all? As we move on to this next home, this is the simple Cape Cod. This Cape Cod was also modeled after a lot of the homes in my childhood housing development, and I had a lot of fun continuing to sort of set the standards for the rest of the neighborhood with this home. This one did not get the roofing trick implemented upstairs as the other Cape Cod did that's coming later on, and you'll see that I can't use the walls all the way up on the second floor or the roof gets in the way. But it still works out really nicely with the walls on cutaway view, so you don't have to play with the walls all the way down. The large covered porch and the stone path to the backyard work really well together on this home, and I think the reddish roof was a really fun choice to work with. I'm not 100% in love with the fence around the backyard here, and this is the only house in the neighborhood that has one, but it's not awful, so take it or leave it if you download this one. I tried a lot of different color schemes on these first few houses that I wouldn't normally choose to go with. And I have to say, I'm glad I got myself out of my comfort zone a bit, as the sunny yellow with the red brick on this home is a combination I wouldn't have normally thought of, but I really think it looks adorable looking at it now. What are some of the ways that you push yourself out of your comfort zone to try new things? Also, what's your favorite combination of colors to put on the outside of a house? Tell me your answers in the comments. I really think this whole neighborhood looks so lovely with all the homes placed down. The whole street just looks picture perfect in my opinion, and I can't wait to see how the rest of the save file shapes up. I don't necessarily always plan to go in order and finish one neighborhood at a time, but sometimes when I'm getting in a flow with my builds, that's just kind of how it works out. Do you like to do a lot of builds and lots in the same game world at once, or do you like to bounce around all of the game worlds when you build? For me, I guess I tend to do things rather systematically, so I'll probably end up working mostly in one game world at a time. Gosh, I really love those walking paths that get created between the houses by the tall cypress trees, and the fact that the landscaping looks nice and cohesive, but it's not too samey. It's not all the same at every single lot. This next house we're going to tour is the larger Simple Ranch, and I think it lives up to its name. This home has a nice large starter home layout, and I'm really happy with how it came out. It's a little more plain compared to some of the others in this neighborhood, but that's okay. Not every home needs to stick out like a sore thumb. I think this one is a perfect starter for a larger sim family. I do love that little stone patio behind the driveway on this home, and I even ended up using that idea again in a larger scale on the backyard of the colonial farmhouse across the street. This home has lots of bedrooms and plenty of unique spaces to decorate, so I can't wait to see what you all do with it. Please tag me in the gallery if you download any of my builds. You can use the hashtag Nerdlings so I can see your furnished homes. You can find me on the Sims 4 gallery at PrincessKK89, and I'll make sure to pop that down in the description for you. There's those lines of trees again. I really, really love them. Now this is the kooky Cape Cod, so named because of its very tall roof, And on this home, I did attempt the roofing trick on that second story, and it really worked out. It took a lot of fiddling, but I was really successful with it. And so when you play with the walls up on the second floor, there's no roof in the way. And I've actually seen quite a few real-life kooky Cape Cods recently, so I'm super pleased with this one, and I don't think it looks too awkward at all. I also managed to get a basement on this build, which I would prefer to have on every home if possible. Around here in New England, pretty much every single building, residential or otherwise, has a basement. So I think it's necessary not only for gameplay, but also for realism. Now you can see the difference when you look at the second story here with the walls up. The roof is not in the way like it was on that very first simple Cape Cod home. I'm very, very pleased with this one. I love the picturesque look of the facade and the garden behind it. This one gave me a lot of trouble, but I think it was really worth it in the end. Really, I'm so proud of how this whole neighborhood just looks so cohesive. This little cul-de-sac that is Foundry Cove in Willow Creek would really make a great spot for filming some Sims stories, or just for regular gameplay storytelling. And I'm so very pleased with how everything came together. I feel like the neighborhood really evokes the small town America feel, which is what I was going for with these homes. I've lived my whole life in historic areas of New England, and the architecture has always inspired me. I'm so proud to be able to bring some of that to life here in The Sims. If you download my builds, please tag me on social media so I can see your work. I really look forward to seeing what creations may come of people furnishing my builds. These first ranches and Cape Cods will always have a special place in my heart, as they remind me so much of my childhood housing development, and it was a joy and a challenge to work out all the kinks of learning to record my builds and how to keep things looking like they go together without being identical. I really just can't get over how good those walking paths look that get created by the rows of tall privacy trees between the homes. I really am just so stinking proud of these builds. It's a wonderful feeling to see my dream of making a Sims 4 save file come to life. This colonial farmhouse is the 5th and final home in this neighborhood. In the base game, when you start a fresh save file, the BFF's family lives here on the biggest lot in Foundry Cove. I had so much fun building this modernized colonial farmhouse, and it was based off of a few homes I see in real life pretty much every day. I would honestly love to live in a home just like this one day. There is so much space, and the layout flows so nicely for a busy family. The backyard is clean and simple, but with still a lot of nice divided space for a patio, very similar to the larger Simple Ranch across the street. It was so much fun trying different landscaping and design elements and using them in each home in different ways to make this whole neighborhood look unified and connected while still giving each build its own unique charm. It really is an honor to share my Sims 4 save file project with you. I love having input from my community and recommendations for my builds. If you have any suggestions or questions for me, please leave a comment and let me know. If you like what you see, please like this video and subscribe to my channel so the YouTube gods will smile down on us and send us all some cookies. Thank you so much for once again taking the time to check out my build. I look forward to sharing even more homes with you soon. Remember to be kind, and that you are so loved. Bye, Nerdlings!